Scotland's politicians have been arguing the case for and against the UK remaining in the EU, as the date for the referendum was announced. David Cameron has said the vote will take place on Thursday, June 23. Nicola Sturgeon said she believed the timing of the referendum was wrong but said it was now time to get on with a strong and positive campaign. David Coburn, leader of UKIP in Scotland, said the country would be better off out of the EU. Kezia Dugdale said Labour was Scotland's internationalist party, and Ruth Davidson of the Conservatives said there should now be honest debate. Liberal Democrat leader Willie Rennie said the EU was one of the best creations that this country has built. The Prime Minister made his announcement on the date for the referendum in Downing Street after briefing his cabinet. It came after he said late on Friday night that he had secured a deal with EU leaders which would give the UK special status. Scotland's First Minister said she believed Mr. Cameron had been negotiating on very narrow grounds and it was now time to hear the big picture, positive case for remaining in the EU. However, Ms. Sturgeon said she was concerned about the clash between the June referendum date and the Holyrood elections which will be held on Thursday, May 5. She said, "I still think it is the wrong date, not just because of the overlap with the Scottish Parliament elections but also because I think we do need time to have that big, positive debate that I have been talking about. But that, in a sense, has passed. The date has been named so it's time to get on with it." Scottish Labour leader Ms. Dugdale said that, now the package of reforms had been agreed and a date set, those of us who back staying in the EU must get on and make the positive case for that. She added, "Labour is Scotland's internationalist party. We believe working in solidarity with other nations makes us stronger. We will be enthusiastic leaders of this campaign." Ms. Davidson, the Scottish Conservative leader, said, "Whether you are a natural supporter of the EU or prefer Britain to leave, if you are under 58, you've never been offered the chance to give your opinion at the ballot box. It's right to have this referendum so everyone's voice is heard." She added, "For my own part, I believe that, on balance, Scotland's businesses do better from being part of the biggest free trade bloc in the world, and I hope the country chooses to remain." For the Liberal Democrats, leader Mr. Rennie said, "With open markets, partnership between universities and free movement of people, it is in our interest to remain a key part of the European Union. Our ancestors who experienced a continent of conflict for centuries will be looking on with incredulity that we are even considering leaving the organization that has helped create a continent of peace." Speaking on the BBC News Channel, UKIP Scottish leader Mr. Coburn said, "I would like to see powers brought back to Edinburgh. If we get out of the European Union, powers will be repatriated to Scotland on fishing, on agriculture, on many other things. If we get a Brexit, I can be very confident in saying Scotland will get a lot more powers returned here." Ross Greer, Scottish Green Party spokesman on Europe, said the need to put forward a vision on a European Union based on solidarity and the common good was more urgent than ever. As the date for the referendum was announced, campaigning was already getting underway in Scotland. Scotland Stronger in Europe, the Scottish arm of Britain Stronger in Europe, erected a street stall in Glasgow's Sauchiehall Hall Street on Saturday morning. Campaign spokesman John Edwards said, "Scottish votes could be crucial in keeping the UK in Europe, so it is important that Scotland comes together and chooses a future in Europe. There is strong support in Scotland to stay in the EU, and we want to motivate people with positive campaigning to turn out and vote for Remain on June 23. In Edinburgh, Nigel Griffiths of the Labour Leave campaign was handing out leaflets. He said, "Every day £50 million is going from the Treasury to Brussels. Only half of that comes back, in fact less, and we don't get a say in how that's spent. Brussels dictates that to us, and it's time to reclaim that. Here in Scotland we need a Scottish government to stand up against Brussels and fight for our steel workers and steel industry, our farming industry and our fishing industry, and sadly they are not doing that.